Well, let's just turn this ADHD music off. Anyway, I appreciate I'm probably a little bit late to the party on this one, and that is this beautiful Anthony Kim story. Goes away, disappears for 12 years. No, we don't need to look too much into what happened to him and why he was away from the game. And this isn't about gossip or looking into that. It's how does one person go from the lowest of the low that they could possibly even get in their life in not wanting to be here anymore and addicted to drugs and alcohol to turn their life around and coming back into something they have extreme talent for and using whatever it is that they built and conjured up off the back of trauma, off the back of, those life experiences to win and to make the world go nuts, or at least the golf world go nuts, the people that care about this stuff, right? And it rightly so, because it is a beautiful story. And that's why I'm on here today, because I want to share these 3 important lessons that you can take away into your own life and into your own performances that are going to help you install pressure-proof golf and go on to do wonderful and amazing things within your life and achieve excellence, whatever that means to you specifically. So the first thing that you can take away from this is anything can happen, but only if you stay present in the moment. You see, if you told Anthony Kim 12 years ago that he'd go through all of this stuff and then come back and win on Live after, 2 years of struggling to make the cut, whatever they call it, and now he's a winner again. And in the last group with undoubtedly two of the best golfers in this current era that we're in. And when I say anything can happen, I don't mean tomorrow. I don't mean when everything, all the stars align and everything comes together. I mean today. I mean in this very moment that you're in. We don't want to look too far ahead. Future thinking causes fear. Fear causes protection. Protection kills flow and performances quicker than anything else. And what Anthony Kim spoke about beautifully was this mantra that he adopted of just 1% better. 1% better today, 1% better compounding effect over the next however many days you want to look at it. And, you can't fight that. If you are continuously getting better, where do you think that's going to take you? If you're always getting 1% better and obviously being clear on what that looks like, where do you think you're going to end up? Whereas if you are riddled with limiting beliefs, challenging emotions and emotional blockers and troubling thoughts, how do you expect to get better? How do you expect to perform better? How do you expect to just keep slapping surface level tools over the top of everything and just hope that your best golf turns up in tournaments? A pressure-proof golf is about improving physically, mentally, and consistently over a long period of time and letting that work do the speaking for you. So when I say anything can happen, what I mean is that if we go in thinking about the future that doesn't even fucking exist and not stay present in the moment that we have right now, it's going to be very hard for you to show up at your best and do incredible things in the game of golf. And whether that's right now, you're a pro and a playing pro and a teaching pro looking to get onto a circuit, onto a mini tour, you're on mini tours and you're looking to go to Q School and get some playing rights and privileges, or you're on the bigger tours and you're looking to actually not just be there, but compete with the best, and how much better can this get? Just like what we've seen with Anthony Kim. Because all of that keeps you present, it stabilizes belief, it eliminates urgency, and all of that compounds. And pressure-proof golf is built like that, over small daily alignments, clear boundaries and repeatable structure. So the first lesson is that anything can happen, but only when you stop forcing the future and start focusing on the here and now. Now, the second lesson that I want you to learn is that we must start with the end in mind. And what I mean by that is most golfers have their processes, their routines, their practices, but they don't know why. They're grinding, they're working hard, and they're putting all these hours and effort, but for what? And it comes back in, it ties back into this 1% better. If you are just getting 1% better every day, it might not work because you don't know where you want to go. So if we think back to Anthony Kim, 1% better, but to get back to where he was, right? To get back onto the tour, but also a bigger meaning and a bigger purpose than that. And this is what I'm trying to get to. He said in his interview that I'm just fighting for my family. and I will continue to fight for my family. And that's all that I was doing. And when I speak to most competitive golfers, I'm like, so, look, if we met 3 years from now and everything was perfect, your golf was where you want it to be, your life was where you want it to be, and you've achieved all of the things that you set out to achieve in 3 years' time, what does that look like? What would have had to have happened? What's it all for? Why is that important to you? Because again, if we look back at being 1% better and not fearing the future, that comes from fear of maybe not being good enough and the beliefs that you have about yourself. And it will tie into my last point, which is stop managing and start creating. But I'll get into that in a sec. So what's the mission? For Anthony Kim, golf wasn't just golf. It was a vehicle in order to be a better human, provide for his family, fight for his family, give them what they need, and ultimately a bigger reason for him to show up every day. And when your mission is strong enough, you'll no longer panic when things dip. You won't want to quit when things get uncomfortable, and you won't coast or protect when you're in a better position than you're in now out of fear. You just fight. And pressure-proof golf starts with identity. Who are you? What are you building? And what are you playing for? What is this all for? Because if you don't know that, you'll start playing a small game, playing to protect rather than to commit. And the moment you do that is when your performances start to collapse, become inconsistent, and you no longer love the game of golf. So we need a clear mission, a stable identity, which then helps calmer decisions under pressure. And that's alignment. That's what we do here. That's what pressure-proof golf is. And as I mentioned before, it brings me on to my last point, which is stop managing your life and your performances and start creating it. So many people go on about, I'm just being realistic. And if I can just get my tour card and then stay there for a couple of years and then get better and then do this and then do this, and I'm hoping for that. And, if all works out, I'll do this. That's managing. That's where things just will not work out for you. You need to create and put yourself within those opportunities to become the best at what you do, or at least work to succeed in the bigger mission of what we just mentioned in the last point. Because all of that is just survival thinking, and pressure-proof golf is creation. Is how can I and what do I need to do and who do I need to become in order to achieve excellence within my game and within the sport that I play, and achieve excellence within my career. So that you now stay present, you now know what excellence looks like for you, and then you start to create it. And that's everything that Anthony Kim has done over the last however many years he's been coming back. Over the last however many years it's been since the comeback started. And let me tell you one thing, you are not here to survive, you are here to compete, you are here to win, and you are here to build. And when you see your career as something that you design, not something that just happens to you, everything starts to shift. Now, some things that people don't realize is that life is just one big video game and you are the main character. And if you don't take control and design the life of your dreams and the career of your dreams, you'll just sort of float amongst the tide. It's the similar kind of analogy of like, well, if you had the world's best captain of a ship, right? His skills, talent, knowledge, experience, everything is just top tier. If we relate that back to your golf and your skills and all of this kind of stuff. But he gets into the ship and he says, right, where am I taking this vessel? And they go, I don't fucking know. And he goes, all right, well, how do you expect me to do my job if I don't know where I'm going? And I'm just sort of managing the boat, managing the thing that I'm trying to do. You need to design it. You need to know from point A to point B, how do I get there? What does that look like? I can do anything along the way. There's so many people say, I'm just being realistic. Realistic is just negative thinking. There is a difference between being a realist and realistic thinking. Realistic thinking is just being negative thoughts that come in that you just don't quite fully believe the thing that you're trying to set out to do. But Anthony Kim didn't come back to just manage expectations and manage his performances. He came back to put a statement down and to win. He came back with a belief about himself and a mission and intent. He created everything that's just happened, and you can too. Because what that will do is it will change how you handle pressure, it will change how you respond to mistakes, and it changes whether you protect or pursue your dreams. And pressure-proof golf isn't about being flawless. It's about being stable enough in your identity, your emotions, and your performances that pressure doesn't distort all of that. So, in a nutshell, Anthony Kim's story isn't about luck. It isn't about his previous talent. It's about continuous pursuit of getting better, staying present, and designing the life of your dreams. And that can only happen if you stay present, know your mission, and stop managing your career and start creating it. That's pressure-proof golf.